Hello, writers. Today, what I want to work with you on is using dialogue to let your readers know who's talking. Our strategy is as follows. Today, I want to teach you that writers of personal narratives make their characters talk by using actual dialogue of what the people say. They use quotation marks to show they are using actual words. So dialogue are the words that characters say out loud to each other. And we always put quotation marks, which look like this, around the words that are being said. We might use verbs such as said, yelled, whispered, shouted, exclaimed, demanded, or asked. So here are some examples. We're starving, shouted Beckett. And notice that Beckett, who's saying we're starving has quotation marks, and then there's a comma separating the words that Beckett is saying and the tag, that's what it's called, that we're using to identify who's saying it. Line up for lunch, said Mrs. Griffith. Quotation marks around what Mrs. Griffith says. The comma is separating the quotation and the tag showing who said it. Abby asked, when is recess? She's saying when is recess, and so we have quotation marks around that. I want to go home, whispered Weston, and quotation marks around what Weston says, and then a comma separating what he says from who is saying it. So let me show you another mentor passage, and think about, as I'm reading it, the picture that it paints in your head, the movie that it creates as you're listening. Well, Cotton asked. Cotton is a person. Well, Cotton asked. Charlie nodded, staring at the collapsed and rotten small building nearby. Cotton picked up the snake by the tail and stood, grinning. Want to hold it? Cotton, Charlie said, and he took a step back. Cotton laughed and jiggled the snake. Dead. See? Because this dialogue is here, we can see this conversation between Cotton and Charlie playing out in our head. It's like we're right there when it's happening. And it's a lot better than just saying Cotton tried to get Charlie to pick up the snake and the snake wasn't really alive. Dialogue can really bring our writing to life. So now you try. Go back to your writing and revise. Find places where you can add dialogue, the actual words that the characters said. Put quotation marks around each person's dialogue, and use a comma to separate the dialogue and the tag that identifies who is speaking. This will help develop your narrative so that the reader can step inside your story. Go ahead and make it happen.